Hey guys, so today I'm going to be giving you guys who are going into your first year of college some advice that I wish I had heard going into college. And before the video continues, if you don't know me, my name is Mia and I am going to be a junior at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York. And if you want to keep up with my life, even though it's pretty boring and uneventful, you can add me on my social media, which I will be putting right on the screen. So my number one piece of advice is to not try to be someone you're not, which obviously is like the most cliche thing ever and you probably hear it all the time. But in college, it's really easy to get sucked into this like idea of like who you should be or the people you should hang out with or the things you should be doing. Because like when you're in such like a vulnerable state, such as like going away on your own for the first time to a completely new place, not knowing anyone, starting completely new, it's like so much easier when you're in that state to like be malleable and like for people to easily take advantage of you and like try to change you into someone you're not. But obviously you have the power to not do that. It all comes from within yourself. If you actually tell yourself that you like are proud of yourself for who you are and you won't change that for anyone, then you should be fine. And as long as you don't change yourself for anyone, stay true to yourself from the very beginning, because the people who become your friends when you're trying to be this person you're not actually are not really your true friends, because they are just around for that fake facade that you're putting up. You want to attract people for who you actually are, so by being yourself from the get-go, you're gonna attract the most genuine friends that you could possibly make, because they're seeing you for who you are and they want to be your friend because of that. And going along with that, I know in a lot of colleges, especially like big universities, there's a lot of pressure to party and to drink and to do a bunch of social stuff. And I know a lot of people who are introverted watch my channel because I get a lot of comments saying like that they relate to me and stuff like that, and I am definitely an introvert and I don't like to party and I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything, and you don't have to do any of that either. Like, I know there's people watching this video like being like, oh, she's a loser, but we can't do anything about the way they think. If they want to live their life that way, that is totally fine, and if we want to live our lives this way, that's also totally fine. As long as you're happiest with whatever you're doing in your life, then it really shouldn't matter what other people are saying. I know it is easy to like say that, and it might actually hurt your feelings if people are like making comments about your lifestyle choices, but like think about how much more unhappy you would be if you were living that life that isn't truly you and people were like being fake nice to you, because like that's not the real you. So it's like, would you rather have people hate you for who you are or love you for who you're not? So cliche, but it's honestly so true. And for all my fellow introverts watching this, just know that you're valid and you're allowed to be an introvert and you're allowed to not want to drink, you're allowed to not want to party. And for those of you who are extroverts and you like to party and you like to get drunk, that is totally fine too. That is just not my field of expertise. So my number two piece of advice is that you shouldn't get discouraged if you don't meet friends right away. And I know a lot of videos on YouTube will tell you that like people settle into like friend groups really fast at college. And I'm not gonna say that's wrong, because people do, but to generalize every single person at your college and say that all of them are going to find their best friends within the first few days, settle into their groups, and not want to talk to anyone after that is just like incorrect. There's going to be people who like don't find their friend group. There's going to be people who still feel left out even if they do have a friend group and are still searching for someone who is actually a true friend. Like, there's always going to be a scenario in which you can still make new friends, and don't let all these people convince you otherwise, that people are just going to be completely shut off after the first week and are gonna have no interest in being your friend. Personally, for me, I'm still friends with people that I made connections with the first week of school. Like, actually before that, we met on Facebook in the Facebook group for our college, and those are still my best friends. But I have met so many more close friends that I love to hang out with later on, not even until like sophomore year of college. And it doesn't make any difference really what time you meet these people, as long as they're like gonna be true friends. They're gonna be willing to accept you at any point in their life. And just because you're not making friends right off the bat doesn't mean that you're never gonna make friends. Just give it time, and like I said, be yourself, and you will attract the people that are meant to be close to you. And it's also sort of like a peer pressure thing, because I know that most of the reason why it's bothersome not to have any friends is because of the social pressure at college to have friends and to be social. And I feel like us introverts should really like debunk that myth, because honestly, it's okay to be on your own sometimes. Like, alone time is kind of the best time to have. You don't always have to be constantly hanging out with people to be happy, and like if you really believe that, you'll be totally fine with not having a lot of friends. So number 3 is getting used to time management, which is like the biggest change from high school to college is like the amount of free time you have and the amount of things you have to do in that free time slot. And to make this easier, like, I could not recommend a planner more, or not even just like a physical planner, but maybe writing down all of your obligations in your notes, or getting an app, or like just anything that allows you to visualize all the things you have to do. Look at like your calendar, look at your upcoming events, and plan out when you're gonna have time to do these things, so that when the time comes around, like the due date, you aren't like completely shocked and completely forgot about what you had to do, and you're not going to be screwed. Procrastination is another thing. I still do procrastinate all the time, but it is so much better to procrastinate knowing I have a certain due date in my mind than to completely forget about a project because I didn't write it down or something, and then the due date comes up in class and I'm like, fuck. I highly recommend using a planner or some sort of organizational thing where you can write down due dates, you can plan out when to give certain time to each thing, and plan out basically just like when to get things done, so that way you can have other spare time in your week to do the fun things like socializing and going out to eat and all that fun stuff. So number 4, I kind of have a whole separate video on, which I will put a little link to up here, but it is not to compare your progress to others' progress. Basically, this is extremely hard to do in college because college is like the most different time for everyone. It's like the most complicated, not the most complicated, but the most confusing time of your life, where everyone's figuring out what they want to do with their life and no one really knows what they're doing. And for that reason, everyone is moving at different paces, everyone's doing different things with their life. People are at totally different levels, and like it's just okay because it's college and everyone knows that everyone is just in different places in college. And if you really tell yourself that, then you won't really feel the need to compare yourself to your friend who is taking like 9 classes a semester and has an internship and has a job and is doing all this amazing thing in life, and you just like are taking the minimum amount of classes, you don't have a job, you don't have an internship, and you're basically just getting by. Either one is fine as long as you're happy and as long as you feel like you're getting closer to your goal, whatever that may be. It really doesn't matter what anyone else is doing at that given time. Humans are so complex. We all progress and we all grow at different rates, and we all require different things to get to the same place. It's not even the same place most of the time. We all want to go to different places, and for that reason everyone is progressing at different rates, and you just can't possibly compare your journey to someone else's because everyone's going somewhere else. Everyone achieves their goals differently. I could go on about this forever, but basically go watch my video if you want to see a full extended version of this rant. Basically, just don't feel like you have to be doing 110% all the time just because you want to be as accomplished as your neighbor. You can take breaks for yourself if you feel like you need them, and you don't have to feel guilty about doing that because this is your life and you deserve to take as much time as you need in order to be happy with your life. Number 5 is probably one of the least talked about things when it comes to college, but I see this so much personally when it comes to people I know in college, but that is to leave ample time for self-care in your routine. As I was just mentioning, time management is like a huge deal in college because you just have so much more free time than you did in high school, and when you're trying to juggle like classes, homework, a job, socializing, going grocery shopping, whatever it may be, sometimes you can kind of forget to like leave 10 extra minutes in the morning so that you can have a full breakfast, or you'll be up all night studying and realize you forgot to like get a good night's sleep. These little things, they might not seem too harmful when you look at them in like a day-to-day perspective, but when it comes down to it, if you're sacrificing your mental health for your schoolwork or for your social life, whatever it may be, there's only so much you can actually be benefiting from that if your actual being is not healthy, if that makes any sense. Basically, there is no GPA or no friend or no group of friends or no social activities that are worth sacrificing your own mental and physical health for. Just always make sure that you're allowing yourself enough time to get like at least 8 hours of sleep every night, which I know is really hard, especially for people who work jobs. But as long as you're trying, that's the thought that counts. Leave enough time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for you to have a full meal, if that's even possible. Eat more vegetables. Don't be eating like microwave meals all the time just because it's fast and easy. And don't forget to be drinking water all day long and hydrating yourself. I know it sounds ridiculous, but people in college really do tend to forget these little details in their daily routine, and it adds up, and you really aren't putting your full self forward if you aren't giving yourself 100%. Hope that makes some sense. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and if you guys have any extra tips that you think people should know, comment them down below. Don't forget to check out my other college related videos. I have a lot on my channel and just a lot of like self-help videos in general. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and check me out on social media, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video.